After a much-needed day off, the Rockies raring to go tonight as they open up a 3-game set against the New York Mets, who come in with a record of 21-13. The Rockies are 16-18. They snapped a 7-game home losing streak, 8-7 on Wednesday, behind a bottom of the 8th inning 2-out home run from Nolan Arenado. Good crowd expected tonight and all weekend long. The big Okie going to the mound, Jon Gray, 6'4", 240 pounds, and he bounced to the mound, as Jeff was telling you, with a lot more confidence as he grows into a big league pitcher. And yes, he doesn't have his first big league win, but if he keeps throwing like he did in his last 2 outings, he'll get plenty of wins.
A lot more confident on the hill now whenever you see Jon Gray go out there, and it's whether it's the fastballs, the sliders, anything like that, you just feel a difference from last year to this year.
Well, there's the veteran Curtis Granderson. He's been in New York 7 years now, some as a Yankee, some as a Met. He has another year on his deal. He said to me before the ball game, he said, "Had I realized I was going to stay this long, I would have bought my place in Manhattan instead of renting." Here's the rest of Terry Collins' lineup. The venerable David Wright, he'll bat in the 2-hole. Michael Conforto, he's got a beautiful swing. He's been slumping of late. He'll bat third. Yoenis Cespedes having a great year, picking up where he left off in the second half last season with New York. Lucas Duda's got big power. Neil Walker comes from Pittsburgh. As Drupal Cabrera, the new shortstop in New York. Kevin Plawecki's behind the plate. Travis d'Arnaud is out for a while, the #1 catcher for the Mets. So Jon Gray, 0-1. 28 strikeouts, just 6 walks. You gotta like that ratio.
Yeah, and the whip of 1.25. And for Jon Gray, it's a 4-pitch mix. Fastball that we saw a lot of in the last start against San Francisco. Some 2-seamers mixed in, but a lot of 4-seamers. The slider, that's his out pitch. Whenever he's working ahead, get to that hard biting slider. Occasional curveball and an occasional changeup.
Here's the 0-1. That's inside. A couple of fastballs, one at 95, that last one at 96.
Very free and easy with those this year. It's not a forced 95 where he's putting so much more effort into it.
And that is a dirty looking curve. That's really a curveball. That wasn't a slider. I mean, it had late action on it.
Slider action because it went down and across, but at this curveball speed.
Here's the 1-2, and Granderson fists it foul. And that fastball at 97.
You saw Curtis shake his hand too, because it got in the kitchen.
Yeah, that knocked some appliances off the counter. That didn't
he sat
feel
down
good on
in
the
the
hands.
kitchen.
You know, you got to have the bravado and not let them know it, but that had to sting the hands. He didn't bite on that slider, and it's 2-2. One of the differences the last couple of starts, Huey, for Jon Gray is he's working more consistently down in the zone.
And that's when you get the movement. Guys, ball up in the zone, it's easier to hit for a hitter. If it's belt high, mid-thigh, but if you work knees and below, not much is going on, except for some rollover ground ball outs, strikeouts, easy flyouts.
Kind of a cool night. It was a beautiful day. It's in the low 60s right now with a little bit of a breeze. 3 on the right side for Granderson, normally a pull hitter. Leadoff man with a lot of pop. And that misses. 3-2.
Rob Drake flinched for a moment, but it was outside the Subaru strike zone.
At 98.
The overhead shot will give us the best view. See Tony just slightly bring it back, but it was a ball.
Well, Granderson has seen a lot of pitches. David Wright hitting in the 2-hole for the Mets. 9th pitch coming. And he got it. Went after him again with the fastball, and he strikes him out at 97 on the 9th pitch of the at-bat. 1 gone.
I like it. He says, here's my fastball, hit it if you can. Curtis Granderson tardy on the swing on the Subaru Supermo. But John with that, I don't want to say tweak delivery, I guess it'd probably be the best way to put it, where he's using more of his lower half, where he gets the turn with his waist and then get more leg drive into it.
David Wright, who's battled significant back injuries the last couple of years, steps in, and he takes strike one on the outer third. David, like many of the great hitters in the game, has done damage at Coors Field. 384 average. You see Terry Collins looking on. 0-1 is inside. Well, with all the news about Jose Reyes today, both of those guys became the toast of Queens, arriving at the same time as basically, you know, almost teenagers. They got to the big leagues at 20, both of them, and they were very good from Jump Street.
They weren't intimidated by the Big Apple, which can happen to a lot of players that go in there. It'll eat you up, but not those two guys, especially David Wright. Now he's on the backside of his career, but still well respected within the game and also in the locker room.
Yeah, no question. He's been the face and the leader in that clubhouse for a number of years now. Here's the 2-2 on Wright. And he got him with a slider. So back-to-back strikeouts to begin for John Gray. One on a fastball, and then that terrific slider of his. Let's take a look at the Rockies defensively. As you'd expect, the A group is out there. Gerardo Parra, Charlie Blackmon, Carlos Gonzalez in the outfield. Milton Arenado, Trevor Story on the left side. DJ LeMahieu joined by Mark Reynolds on the right side. Tony Walters is behind the plate. Nick Hundley, again, is on the disabled list with the oblique strain. And here is good young hitter and Michael Conforto.
I talked to Nick Hundley briefly today. He went out and threw. His oblique's feeling better, but it's still a process.
It's a process because it's one of those injuries, kind of like a back of the leg injury, where all of a sudden you'll say, yeah, it feels, I'm pain free, but then you go try to do something explosive and it catches again, and you didn't realize that it was still tender.
It's the old line that trainers like to use a lot is, if it feels good, wait another 2 or 3 days. But a player says, I feel good, I'm ready to go right now. But that's when you have the setbacks.
Here's the 0-2 on Conforto, and they raise the eye level, and it's 1-2. Conforto just 5 for his last 38, and he struck out 15 times during that period of time. Two outs, nobody on. A couple of punch outs for Gray, and nearly another one just inside.
He's dialing up 97 consistently now.
He's sitting on 97. He's hit 98.
The only way you take that is, yeah, it's a couple inches inside, but you just couldn't hit it as a hitter.
Wouldn't feel good either. And what an inning. He strikes out the side to begin, and he'll get the Rockies to the dugout quickly. Terrific beginning for John Gray. Dude, you got really good stuff.
Keep throwing that 97-mile-an-hour fastball. That's a good pitch, and so is that hard slider.
Yeah, whatever you throw, listen, I'll just catch it. Whatever I put down, it looks pretty good to me. Charlie Blackmon will lead things off for the Rockies. Here's the Southwest batting order tonight for Walt Weiss. Trevor Story will bat second. Cargo third. Nolan Arenado, the hero from the 8-7 victory on Wednesday. He'll bat cleanup naturally. Gerardo Parra leading the league in doubles with 14. Mark Reynolds, he's playing a lot. He's going to play even more with Ben Paulson now down in Albuquerque. DJ will bat 7. Tony Walters and John Gray. Matt Harvey ready to go. The 6'4 right-hander's fastball at 94 is in for a strike. Started slowly, really slowly by his standards. He's been better the last 3 or 4.
In the last 4, he's got a 3.57 ERA. The first 3 a 5.71 for Matt Harvey.
What jumps out at me is you take a look at the arsenal. He's a 4-pitch mix guy. He's got a big arm. But Huey, he's given up, which is really unusual for Matt Harvey. He's given up more hits than innings pitched so far this year.
46 hits and 40 innings pitched, 35 strikeouts, just 13 walks for Matt Harvey.
And that's a bouncer up the middle, a base hit. So Charlie Blackmon behind in the count with hit number 501 in his career. That's right on Thursday. Check it. It's now up to 503. I shorted him. His first hit in a 3-hit day on Thursday or Wednesday. I'm getting confused on my days. Was a home run. It was hit number 500 in his career. He added 2 more, including a 2-run single, and that was hit number 503.
How about that for hit number 500? Might as well make it a glorious one as a home run.
Do it in style.
That's right.
So here's Trevor Story. Trevor's been swinging the bat well. And he takes a strike. Matt Harvey, like the Mets, has had his way with Colorado. He's 3-0, excuse me, 2-0 in 3 starts with an 0.39 ERA. But the catch is, all of those starts were made at Citi Field. This is the first time in his career he's made a start at Coors Field.
He's also working on a 19 straight scoreless inning streak against Colorado, dating back all the way to 2012. Now remember, he missed some time, a whole year, with Tommy John surgery. So that number does sound a little bit larger, but still 19 innings.
Two strikes on Story. Matt Harvey is from the tri-state area. Grew up in Connecticut. Lives in Mystic, Connecticut. Went on to North Carolina. What a staff they had there. They've always done a good job, and it goes back even to the days when Walt Weiss was playing in Chapel Hill and B.J. Surhoff. They've done a great job of recruiting that northeast corridor and getting some of the elite kids to go south to Chapel Hill. Walt's from Suffern, right outside of New York, Suffern County, and Suffern, New York, in Rockland County. Swung on and missed, a strikeout. B.J. Surhoff's from Westchester County, Rye, New York, and that trend has continued for a number of years, where they've plucked some of the elite kids out of that New York, Connecticut, New Jersey area and gotten them down into the Carolina area.
Well, and for those kids to be able to leave some of that colder weather climate and go down and play in North Carolina, that's a big draw for those guys, and it's also one of the top programs going. Yeah,
and if you're wondering about Walt, having grown up myself in New York, you're one or the other. You're a Mets fan or you're a Yankees fan. Walt grew up a diehard Yankees fan.
And there's no boundary either geographically in New York. It's kind of a family.
It's passed down
through generations.
Cargo swings and misses. Carlos is 0 for 6 lifetime against Matt Harvey. Has not hit a home run since April the 16th. This is one of the longest stretches of his career. It's closing in on 100 at bats, which just means some folks are about to pay. David Wright's going to have an easy play.
He almost tripped over the base.
2 outs. Charlie at first. Time for our Mako big hit. Well, the Rockies were up 7-1. All of a sudden it was 7-7. And Tyler Clippard threw a splitter that he left over the inside portion of the plate. When you do that, Nolan hits him really far. A 2-out solo home run in the bottom of the 8th, and then a 1-2-3 9th inning from Jake McGee, and the Rockies had that 7-game home losing streak snapped. They prevail 8-7 to salvage a game against Arizona.
But that's what MVP type players do. I mean, they do it late in the ball game, do it in clutch situations. And you think about that game on Wednesday, you're up 7-1, and then they tie it up late. You lose that one, and boy, that's just, and be swept.
That would have been a devastating, and I don't think you can overstate it. That would have been a devastating loss.
Yes, it would have, but it wasn't because of the guy at the plate.
1-0 on Arenado, tied with Jonas Cespedes for the RBI lead in the National League with 31. Chad Bettis deserved a better fate. I was here to watch that ball game. Chad was rolling and dealing and gave up a couple of runs in the 7th inning, but he deserved to get a victory. It's down 2-1. There's Chad.
Ended up giving up 4 earned runs, but prior to that, it's one of those lines that looks kind of bad at the end, but it wasn't that bad of a line.
No. Two and 2. Nolan 2 for 6 lifetime against Harvey. Nobody in the Rockies lineup has had much success against Matt Harvey, but you could probably check with virtually every roster in the National League and they would say the same thing. And this is an easy play for Neil Walker. So Matt Harvey gives up the leadoff hit to Blackman. The Rockies could do nothing more offensively. We'll go to the 2nd.
We head to the top of the 2nd. That's what's going on inside. We are outside of the ballpark on a Fan Friday. Let's check in with some of the awesomeness going on this week in baseball. We got to check out.
6,
yeah, count them.
7,
Max Scherzer,
8,
20
9.
strikeouts. He even tweeted about it.
I had said unreal adrenaline flow going out there for the 9th inning and staring down the middle of that lineup in that situation. Hashtag what a game 1920.
It was a game. So cool. You can get the water bath. A lot of fans and other players chiming in around Major League Baseball too. We'll get you those thoughts and comments coming up on a Fan Friday. But Spilly and I were thinking, is that the most dominant performance in Major League Baseball? So we want the fans' reaction. Tweet us at rootsports_RM. Don't forget to hashtag Fan Friday, guys. We should have some fun commentary coming up.
Well, I think when you punch out 20 in a game, it's pretty dominant. I would say that's up there. 0-1 on Yoenis Cespedes.
How about
and
that?
The curveball's in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike.
How about that ballpark for a couple days? Nationals Park. That's the one that Bryce Harper was kicked out a few games prior to that, then the walk-off and all that controversy, and then 2 nights later, Scherzer strikes out 20.
There's going to be more big moments, I think, in that ballpark before the year's over. Talented club. Here's the 1-1. Inside, 2-1. Cespedes came to the Mets at the trade deadline, and he ended up tearing the cover off the ball and help lead the Mets to the World Series last year. Detroit, New York. Between the two, he hit 35 home runs, a career best. And it's 3-1 on Cespedes. If you look at home runs since August 1st of last year, Nolan has more than Cespedes by 2, and Cargo is in that grouping with Bryce Harper, 7 back. Make a pitch here. 3-1. Shift is on. And beat him with a fastball. That's when you know you have really good life on your fastball in a 3-1 count to a guy that can pull a bullet and you're tardy.
At 97 miles an hour, because you know that's what you're going to get for a hitter. We've seen it already from John, and you still beat him to the spot.
He goes slider here. Oh, broken bat, and DJ's got it. Another guy with fired up hands.
Communication between DJ and Trevor was really good on that ball.
And that's another spot, Huey. You guys didn't shift much back in the day. And as a shortstop, which you primarily were, your immediate reaction, I got to go get that baseball, right?
I've got to charge it. I've got to probably glove it and then make the throw on the run. But DJ stuck his hand out and said, no, I've got it. It's okay. But it is hard with these new shifts, determining how far you can go before you give way to the next guy.
Well, I like that. To get him over curveball. First pitch to Duda.
Something they've been working on a lot in the side sessions, and they started it last year for John after he was shut down towards the end of the season.
And Duda lifts this ball to shallow center field. 2 outs. Let's head back outside. I like the set outside, by the way, guys. Jenny and Spilly, and you guys did a nice job. You know, making sure the fans were walking by right when you come on camera.
We're having dinner together.
We're eating some lovely fish and chips from Fido's. It's delicious. You know, you gotta eat and watch your tweets on a Fan Friday. Lots of reaction coming in on Max Scherzer, by the way. Let's check this out. Kerry Wood tweeting, congratulations to Max Scherzer on an impressive and dominant performance tonight. Of course, this was on Wednesday. He said, hashtag filthy Scherzer. Tweeting back, I loved watching your game as a kid and dreaming of doing the same thing. When I read that, I had to get a good laugh at it. Kerry Wood's like, easy, man. I'm not that old.
Well, I'm telling you right now, that's probably the most dominant performance of all time was Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game, 98 versus Houston Astros, but someone tried to trump that one. I can't think of a better one. That one to me is really good. Clayton Kershaw, though, no-hitting the Rockies with 15 punchies, and Hanley Ramirez throwing the ball off the hot dog vendor is probably as close as it comes.
But how many people can say that they have a 20 strikeout performance and multiple no-hitters in their career?
Yeah, but guys would rather have 20 strikeouts than a no-hitter.
Huey, what do you think? Drew?
Well, I will say this. When you mentioned the 20 strikeout performance by Kerry Wood at 98, it got such great attention, and deservedly so. I think that was the reason that one Todd Helton didn't win Rookie of the Year in 98 and Kerry Wood did.
Agreed, because that performance was dominant. That slider that Kerry had that day was off the charts. You couldn't even put a number on it. If 20 to 80, 80 being the best, that thing was 100. I mean, that's how dominating that slider was.
Well, and if you look at it in the history of the game, 295 no-hitters, only 5 games with 20 strikeouts or more. And yes, you're right. When I think of wipeout slider Huey, I think of Kerry Wood on WGN 1998. I'm just in my senior year of high school, RBI baseball. Doot, 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 doot. Yeah, that was Kerry Wood.
You nailed that musical bit.
Billy, I like the sound effect. That was well done.
That was perfect.
I've been rehearsing with Jenny for the last 5 minutes.
A 4-pitch walk to Walker as Drupal Cabrera at the plate. The MVP voting was really close in 98. Excuse me, the Rookie of the Year voting was really close in 98. Kerry Wood had 128 votes, Todd had 119. I think that was the difference, though.
Yeah.
That's fouled off by Cabrera.
This is a small group when there's only been 4 guys to ever do that and have 20 strikeouts.
Well, I like the analogy that Spilly used. There's been 295 no-hitters. We celebrate no-hitters, and well, we should, but only 5 times that's occurred. 20 strikeouts. That's too tall on Cabrera, and Tony Walter's going to come out. 1 ball, 1 strike on his Drupal, who has spent most of his career in a Cleveland uniform. Part of 2014 he was with Washington, and last year he was with Tampa. Hit 265 with 15 home runs and 58 driven in. His career best in home runs is 25 back in 2011. It's always been one of those guys that's an under the radar but very, very sound two-way shortstop. He can hit, he can pick it. He'll pick up that fastball at 96, and it's 1-2. I guess Big John would fit in on that Mets staff with the hair, DeGrom and Syndergaard.
Maybe it makes him throw harder.
Good block. Really good block. Well, if it does, you're going to see a rash of young kids wandering around with shoulder length hair.
Slider, you have to pick it. It goes back the opposite direction. Oh, what they're saying is it went off his toe. I think it was a hit by pitch. I was wondering why it went from the right of Tony to the left.
Yeah, it hit the dirt and then his spike, the toe of his spike. That's an accurate call.
And the change of direction is what sets it off, because it shouldn't go that much if it was a slider. Maybe a little bit, but not good 6 to 8 inches.
Catcher Kevin Plawecki, an Indiana kid, steps up. Played his college baseball in the state of Indiana at Purdue.
Travis d'Arnaud, their everyday catcher until he was injured. He's got a strained rotator cuff in his right shoulder.
John Cruz through the first 2 hitters. Got Cespedes on a broken bat ground ball due to early in the count, a fly ball to center field, and the walk to Neil Walker on 4 pitches, and then he hit Cabrera. (37 pitches in, 20 strikes, 17 balls. Not quite the ratio John's looking for. 1-1. That's foul. Well, you can hear the "Let's Go Mets" cheers in the background. The Mets, one of those teams now that have been around a long time that have more of a national following. You see with the Cardinals, you see with the Cubs, the Giants. All those displaced New Yorkers in attendance, I guess.
It's too expensive for them to go to the game in New York.
a bit more of a hassle. Here's the 1-2. That was as good a performance as you'll ever see. I would agree with that. Talking about Kershaw's performance, the no-hitter against the Rockies. This ball lined to center field. It's going to drop and it's going to roll to the wall and it's going to score 2. And John Gray ends up paying for the walk and the hit batter. A 2-out, 2-run double from the 8th place hitter, the catcher Plawecki. And it's 2-0. And this is what's occurred for John at home early in his career.
This year his home ERA is 11.42. Just not able to put this slider away enough from Kevin. You see the reaction from John. He knows it. If he takes that slider and starts it where it ended up, it goes off the plate. It's a strike 3. But instead, it just stayed middle. And even though it was down, Kevin got the barrel to it.
Matt Harvey swings and fouls it off. So on just one hit, the Mets have a 2-0 lead here in the second.
That's where you wanted to throw that slider to Plawecki. Just the difference of where it ends up on the Subaru Supermo.
Two strikes on Harvey. The Mets pitchers have been hot. Syndergaard had a 2-homer game. We all saw what Bartolo Colon did a few days back. He's on the ground. Tough pickup for everybody except that third baseman. In the inning, a walk, a hit batter, and then a double by Plawecki, and the Mets have a 2-0 lead, middle of 2. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your hometown Toyota stores. Toyota, Let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. A block and a half from historic Union Station lies Coors Field. And the Rockies find themselves down 2-0 to the Mets in the opening game of a 3-game set. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, Jenny Kavnar, and Ryan Spilborghs on this Fan Friday. And we are happy you're with us on Root Sports as always. It'll be Gerardo Parra, Matt Reynolds, and DJ LeMahieu in the second against Harvey. Gave up a leadoff single to Charlie Blackmon, but then was able to retire Story, Cargo, and Nolan in the first. Parra takes a strike on a curveball. Gerardo's hitting 7 out of 8 to the tune of a 424 average. David Wright well behind the bag, so Parra thought about it, but not a pitch he could bunt. Mets got in really late last night. We were speaking of Kershaw. They got Kershawed yesterday. They got shut out by Clayton 5-0. They didn't get to their hotel last night until 4:15 in the morning. A long road trip for the Mets.
It's kind of adding insult to injury. They had 3 hits, struck out 13 times. Kershaw complete game, and he was dominating too. I watched part of that game last night, and he's just filthy Clayton Kershaw as usual.
He's the best pitcher in baseball because he does it start after start, year after year. So difficult to maintain that kind of excellence, but he has. This ball is well hit to left field. Conforto goes back and he makes the catch. Caught off the bat. It had a chance to fly over his head. That'll bring up Matt Reynolds. Here's New York defensively. Conforto, Cespedes, and Granderson in the outfield. Wright and Cabrera in the infield on the left side. Cabrera just 1 error at shortstop. Neil Walker and Lucas Duda on the right side. Plawecki's behind the plate. So Matt Reynolds, or Mark Reynolds, I'm calling him Matt Reynolds. Matt, former pitcher with the Rockies. Rockies, if you missed it, there was other news in addition to the suspension finally being announced to Jose Reyes, but the Rockies brought back Daniel Descalso, who finished his rehab and a wrist injury in spring training, and Ben Paulson was optioned to AAA Albuquerque, and Walt was very quick to point out accurately that there's nothing Ben did wrong. He's not being punished. Christian Adames does not have any options left, and Ben Paulson did. So they were finding room for Descalso. So Ben, he'll be back, but right now down playing for Glen Allen Hill and the Isotopes.
Ben 258, 1 home run, 10 RBIs.
And Harvey on 3 pitches strikes out Mark Reynolds. That is just the 4th time this year that Harvey has had a 1-2-3 pitch strikeout. And you think of Matt Harvey and you think of strikeouts. And though I know he had 10 against San Diego, he only had 9 strikeouts his first 3 starts. So his velocity, like Jacob deGrom, is down a tick this year.
And that in turn is hurting his slider velocity. And that's down a couple miles per hour. So it's not the 96 to 97 and then maybe a 90-mile-an-hour slider, 91. So guys are seeing it, they're recognizing it quicker and laying it off of it more.
DJ with a 1-1 count, hitting 7th tonight. The Mets are tough when they're out front, especially with that pitching staff. They're 19-3 this year when they score first. Just 2-10 when the opposition scores first. They have a 2-0 lead on that 2-out double by Plawecki. Mets team ERA of 286 is second best in Major League Baseball. This is not a surprise. I mean, there were three teams really in the National League that virtually everybody who prognosticates figured would be strong. The Cubs, and they are. The Mets, and they are. The Nationals, and they are. This ball's lined to center field, and it will get down and elude Cespedes. This could be triple territory for DJ. It will be. A two-out triple for LeMahieu. And that is his second of the year.
Jonas might have forgotten where he was because this is not Citi Field. He starts to come in on this ball, come over here, and then he has to backtrack and go back. And this is what allowed DJ to hit this triple. I don't know if he would have reached it anyway. You see that on the Subaru Supermo, but if he takes a different route to the baseball, he might have held him to a single, at worst case a double. But for DJ, he'll take it at third base.
Walters with first base open and up 2-0. They'll go after Tony, and after all, he's right now hitting 167. Matt Harvey's going to run out. He missed off the plate there. He does have the luxury of Gray on deck, and probably be reminded of that right now by Milwaukee. Folks, you know the drill. If the Rockies score 7 or more runs, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Live Moss at Taco Bell. Good swing by Walters. He got a pitch
really
to hit.
Good swing.
That ball was not located where Matt Harvey or Plawecki wanted it. More center cut, as you see on the Subaru strike zone. They wanted that almost off the plate.
Then you just hope as a hitter you get another one of those in this at bat. Because sometimes all you get is one.
More often than not, especially with the real good ones, that's all you get. Curveball makes it 1-2. Going to battle mode now if you're Tony Walters. And swung on and missed. So the Rockies leave LeMahieu at third. We'll go to the top of the third inning with the score 2-0 New York. When we come back, Jeff Bridich, the Rockies general manager, will join us and talk a little bit about the news of the day, Jose Reyes' suspension. To the top of the third inning with Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. Welcome to the booth, the general manager of the Rockies, Jeff Bridich, as we remind everybody the breaking news of earlier today. Jose Reyes was suspended 51 games. It was 2 months. That's why it's an odd number. The commissioner's office making the announcement earlier today, and he is eligible to participate in extended spring training down in Scottsdale during the suspension. We'll show you his statement, which he came out with this afternoon. He's not going to appeal it. And again, Jeff Bridich joins us. And one thing that you clarified for the media in the dugout is it's not as if you've had a month's notice. You basically knew a little bit before the rest of us. We're going to get your mic turned up because that will help everybody hear you. How about that? Now go ahead. Well, hold on, Jeff. We're having obviously issues with your microphone, so we'll get that straightened out here. That's a ground ball to first. Easy play for Mark Reynolds. 1 out. Here is the Jose Reyes statement that we alluded to. I want to apologize for everything that has happened. I'm sorry to the Rockies organization, my teammates, all the fans, and most of all, my family. Reyes continued on to write, I'm happy to put this all in the past and get back to doing what I love most, playing baseball. My wife, Catherine, has remained by my side throughout everything, and for that, I will be forever grateful. David Wright at the plate with 1 out. And he gets a curveball just inside ball 1. I'm sorry, Jeff. We're going to try again.
Yeah. So we, you know, through the process, it's basically been for us as an organization on a need-to-know basis. The commissioner's office and the Players Association have run the investigation. They've done all the investigating, done all the research. We really have not been a part of it, and so they've kept us abreast of what's going on as needed and when they felt like we needed to know things. So we got about 24 hours notice, and you know, so we're kind of entering phase 2 here of this whole process.
So you had a chance to talk to the ball club today after this came down. What was their reaction?
You know, I think it leaked a little bit, you know, this morning. A couple of national writers had it, so I don't think we surprised anybody with the news. But you know, everybody is, you know, not involved in the actual investigation process. In the organization, you know, everybody's been in limbo. You know, just kind of been waiting for something to come down. And now it's news, and now, you know, we take a next step forward, and you know, the guys took it in stride. It's a tight group in the clubhouse. I think you know, I think they appreciated the fact that, you know, we just talked to them like adults, and we're all going to have to handle this situation like adults and move forward together as a group.
You referred to a phase 2 of the process, yeah, and an understanding that you basically just got this news and now there's clarity on it. What does phase 2 impart over the next several days, several weeks?
It just means that, you know, for us, it's going to be a lot more conversation and planning with Jose and his representatives, you know, and making sure that we have an understanding of what the next few weeks to a month looks like. That we're not leaving out any details of anything, and you know, and that we figure out what's best together.
Nice play by one third baseman to take a hit away from another third baseman who's been pretty good in his career.
You said you had a chance to talk to some guys. I'm sure one of those guys that you talked to individually was Trevor Story. And going forward, right, you look at him, and you know what a first 6 weeks he's had. Right. What was his reaction?
Trevor is, you know, like I think like you guys have come to know, spent time around Trevor now, spring training and during the season here. He's pretty cool, calm, collected young man, and you know, yeah, he's taken pretty much everything in stride here. That was a nice inning.
Great inning.
You know, just like he should. He's a pro. He's done his job. He's earned the, you know, he's earned the right to play every day at shortstop right now for us, and he took it in stride like a pro.
Very good. We'll continue on. Jeff Bridich with us. Good inning for John Gray. The Rockies trail 2-0, middle of 3. shot from way up high. That's a good look at the ballpark on a Friday night. It's filling up nicely as the Mets are in town for 3. Rockies trying to snap an 11-game losing streak. Hard to believe against New York. 0 for 7 last year. John Gray's leading it off against Matt Harvey. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jeff Bridich continues with us upstairs, kind of putting the wraps on the news of the day, the Jose Reyes situation. One thing I want to point out is when you did that deal last year, and it's a huge deal. Troy Tulowitzki has been one of the superstars in the game.
Yep.
And you move him to Toronto, and I think a lot of times from afar people say, well, he was really traded for Jose Reyes and a bunch of minor league guys, because Jose Reyes, to a big name, a little further along in his career than Troy. And not to diminish Jose Reyes' skills as a player and what Jose's done in his career, but it was far more than that.
Yeah, it was. I think getting shortstop, is a position that you guys know. I mean, you play the game, you play the position, you watch the game for your entire life. How important is that position to a well-functioning or just a defense and supporting a pitching staff and all that? You have to have shortstop that is reliable and can do the job. And Jose Reyes, has been that to earlier in his career to an elite degree. He still can do it. He can play other positions in the infield. So we were feeling good about getting the type of talent back that we did in that large trade. But yeah, the additions to, in that trade to Jose Reyes, Jeff Hoffman, Castro, Tinoco, those were important pieces of that trade for us, and certainly was we felt like an answer to what we were targeting if we were going to consider trading a player of the caliber of Troy Tulowitzki.
Quick update on Castro. How's he doing?
He's doing well. He's on a rehab, or he's just about to start one. He's been thrown down in extended spring and pitching down there, so things are going well with him.
And he was off to a terrific start here.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's a puppy still. I mean, he was closing games for Toronto as a 20-year-old last year.
Yeah. He's got a lot of talent.
Now the other guy, again, hardcore followers of the Rockies, look, and every time they see Jeff Hoffman, he's putting up zeros. I always say this, that if you have less than a 5 ERA in the PCL, you're like Sandy Koufax. This kid's got less than a 2 down there. He's pretty special, isn't he?
He's pretty good. Very talented. Yeah, I think this is his first time at this level. It's his first time pitching away from the East Coast. And it's the difference there. It's drier out here, and Albuquerque's very similar that way. So he's learning some things, and he's done a nice job.
He's done a really good job, and there's about 4 guys at Double-A. Kyle Freeland and Marquez, sub-2 ERAs. I think Kyle just went over it too with his last outing.
Right.
But they have pitched very well. Is there a definitive time from your standpoint with any guy? But you have a number of really high-quality arms that aren't quote unquote far away. Is there a definitive timetable, or is it kind of always a fluid situation?
It's definitely fluid. If you're trying to, it really depends on what your philosophy is. If you are trying to make sure that you're doing what's best for the player, it has to be a fluid situation, because every player gets ready mentally, physically, emotionally at a different rate, and so you have to recognize that. You have to appreciate that if you're trying to do what's best for the person.
Well, this young man could flat play, and that's going to be a double into the left field corner for Trevor Story.
8th double of the season for Trevor, and this time he gets a changeup that was left inside on the Subaru Supermo, but still strong enough to hit it past a diving David Wright, because he got that more on the label than he did out on the barrel.
Well, you guys know this well, that if your philosophy, if your game plan is to stay in the middle of the field, when it gets slowed up a little bit with a changeup, you'll still be able to put a barrel on it. That's what happened to him.
Yeah, he did a nice job.
Did a good job. Chance for the Rockies. Maybe they'll steal a 2-out run. Cargo at the plate. He popped the third his first time. 0 for 7 lifetime against Harvey. And he gets jammed there, and that'll end the threat. Jeff, quick innings. Do you have time for a half more? Sure. Jeff will stick with us for another half inning. The Rockies trailing right now 2-0 as we go to inning number 4 at Coors Field. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By Jack in the Box. Taste the Jumbolicious Jumbo Meal before it's gone. Only at Jack in the Box. And by Lodge Casino. Pitching up a perfect game for cash every Friday and Saturday. Lodge Casino, your first choice for fun. Top of the 4th inning, the Mets have 1 hit, but they have 2 runs. After a walk and a hit batter with 2 outs in the second, Kevin Plawecki with the double to center field to score 2 against John Gray. This is Yoenis Cespedes. And he hits it foul. As much as you watch Nolan, because it's always fun to talk about him, and you see every game, obviously. Do you ever, I mean, how often do you stop and say, are you kidding me again? What?
You know, sometimes you get into these, he gets into these ruts, I think, where he makes the same unbelievable plays over and over and over. And the problem is that, you know, and that's tongue-in-cheek, obviously. The problem is that we're so used to it now. It's, you know, it's like when he doesn't make one of those plays, you're like, what the, you know, hey, what's going on?
I hold to this. The best line uttered about how fantastic that kid is defensively is by Walt Weiss, and he would know. Walt was a great defender. That's that's a nasty slider. See you later. Walt said it's not just that he makes certain plays, gets to certain balls, because you're always like, wow, unbelievable, it was a dive or going to his left. It's that he finishes the plays. A lot of times we go, oh, great play, but he's safe at first. It's always great play and he's out at first.
Well, the body control, the accuracy of his arm from throwing, you know, from multiple angles and body positions, all that stuff is practiced by Nolan. All this stuff's been practiced by Nolan for years. This is not just some, not like he woke up one day and just all of a sudden started making these plays. It doesn't happen by accident. You know, he's got, obviously he's got otherworldly talent and ability, but he also has put himself in a position through practice to complete these types of plays more often than not.
He was out here today at 3 o'clock taking ground balls with Descalso. It was just those 2 guys. Right. I mean, that, to your point, he was out here with nobody else was working on his craft.
And you should see his, I mean, when he gets to spring training early, and watching Trevor kind of watch him work, you know, and watching a young kid like Ryan McMahon, one of our better prospects, and actually at the position, and watch Nolan go through some of his work to get himself ready just for spring training. I mean, those are irreplaceable type of experiences, and you know, he does it. I mean, he's the complete package that way.
Yeah, and you always say too, when your leaders are also your hardest workers.
Yep.
Short fielder, the Rover, made a nice play out there.
What a start here. I know John gave up the double, but he's still 12 for 14 at first pitch strikes.
He's turned a corner, hasn't he? I know there's no wins yet, but for you, looking from above, you think the body language is different?
Yeah. You know, and I think John and most other pitchers would probably disagree with me to some degree, but pitching wins is an overrated and misunderstood stat. I think it really doesn't matter. Team wins is the most important thing, and you know, these guys can't, you know, certain things they can't control, and what they can't control is going out and giving us a chance to win a game. Whether they get the credit for the win is one thing.
Well, I'll ask you, because your team upstairs spends a lot of time twofold with analytics and also with old-time scouting and some of the gray hairs, as I like to call them. Are you a FIP guy? Fielding independent pitching?
Sure.
Because his FIP at Coors Field is really pretty good. It's really good.
Yeah, and you know, absolutely. I mean, we take, you know, all things into consideration that way. I mean, we've got some proprietary things that we look at that we've been working on for years now that are important to us. You know, but in terms of what you said before, his presence, I think his belief in himself, I think he feels much more comfortable at this level, just being a pro, not just the day that he pitches, but all the days, you know, that he's up here and responsible for being a major leaguer, being a teammate, being, you know, and all the work that goes into that on and off the field. I think there's just more comfort there for him.
Assuming John's going to put away Cabrera here, and we got to let you jump. One question before you fly. On your timetable, and I know you want to win a world championship.
Yep.
On your timetable, based on what you've seen this year, has this club moved ahead of whatever that timetable is in your mind, or is it on schedule?
Well, the goal, I think the goal coming in even last year was to start playing better baseball and more consistent baseball. You know, have we done that fully? No, you can look at our home record and say, no, we haven't quite achieved that yet. You can look at our road record right now and say, you know, wow, this group anyway has really started to address some of the things that have plagued, you know, the organization in the past. It's a different group every year, as you know, and you know it's going to continue to be different here and there. We get guys off the DL and all that. I think what's important is that these guys continue to compete like they're competing, and you know, and continue to play well against good teams. You know, but I'm pleased with where we're at right now. There's certainly a lot more that we can do, and a lot more that we have to do in order to, I think, really truly believe that we are a team to be reckoned with in the division, in the league, and ultimately in terms of winning a World Series.
Oh, 2 outs, back-to-back knocks from Walker and Cabrera, and that'll bring up Plawecki, the catcher who doubled to center field to drive in the 2 runs that the Mets have. This is, I've always said this, Jeff, I know you've always said this is where the good ones start to separate themselves. A little traffic.
They find that extra gear, or they find a way to make that pitch, to not give up those extra runs.
And what'd you learn from the first AB?
Yeah, you know, and Harvey's done that so far today. You know, Walter's a strikeout. He got Cargo to ground out. Cargo's scoring position and all that.
And he'll get out of it. 2 hopper to short. That'll do it. Jeff, we appreciate the time.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
You betcha.
Good to be here.
Thank you. As
Have a
always.
good game.
Thank you.
Get us a win.
We're going to do whatever our part is. We're going to do our best.
I appreciate it.
2-0. Rockies trailer. Jeff Bridich.
Nothing. Mets have a lead. Spilly and I are outside here, outside of Coors Field by Fido's. Really great night. Lots of fun fans strolling by, and that's appropriate for a Fan Friday.
It is appropriate, and you know what else is appropriate?
What's appropriate? When pitchers hit home runs?
Yes.
Yes! Let's take a look at Bartolo Colon hitting his first home run ever. 42 years old, he becomes the oldest player to hit his first career home run. It happened in San Diego. And Mark tweeting a quote from Colon, I hit a lot of home runs, but in the Dominican, playing softball.
Well, you know what I love about it? 229 at bats. He struck out 121 times. He only has 3 extra base hits. And I just see Nolan on first base. So I love Bartolo. I love you more, Nolan.
And I love when pitchers hit home runs, right, Huey? You love when pitchers hit. I think fans do too. We want the fan comments on it before I get yours. So tweet us. Don't forget to hashtag Fan Friday. Now, Huey, I will let you have the floor about pitchers hitting.
You know what? I do like the pitcher hitting in the National League. I do like that because I like to look and maybe make fun of them every once in a while.
So a leadoff single from Nolan, and Parra, who lined out to deep left, is at the plate. Second look for the Rockies at Matt Harvey, and here's the first pitch of the inning.
Hanging slider on the Subaru Supermo. Thank you very much, Matt Harvey.
Matt Harvey's just happy that was a line single and not
over the wall.
Yeah, watching Nolan trot around the bases. And if that gets down, which it will, and it goes past Conforto, that'll score a run all the way to the wall. Parra digging towards third, and he is into third safely. A misplay by the young left fielder. It's 2-1, and the Rockies have the tying run at third, nobody out. You can see that one coming a mile away.
All the way up here where we're watching this ball game. The route he took, and he got caught in no man's land. He wasn't close enough to dive, yet too close to block it. So what happens? It goes right in between his glove and the ground. Nolan scores from first. Gerardo ends up at third base. And if it wasn't for the hustle of Cespedes in center field, that might have been a home run, maybe the Little League style home run, but it would have been a 2-2 ball game.
They haven't scored it yet. It's one of those ones, it's a bad defensive play, but he never got any leather on it. They may score it, a straight triple.
They might, but it should probably be a single and a two-base error.
Well, they just scored it a triple.
Okay.
Triple and an RBI for Parra. Mark Reynolds with an 0-1 count. He struck out on 3 pitches his first time, and he hits one to center field. That'll tie it up. Mark Reynolds with a base hit, and it's 2-2. So the Rockies back level with the Mets here in the fourth. Single, triple, single against Matt Harvey, and LeMahieu coming up.
That's what you have to do with a runner on third base. Get the ball in play. Use a big part of the field, and Mark Reynolds does that. Belt high fastball. Hits it in front of Cespedes. Shot on home, Gerardo Parra. How about that? Quickly, 2-2.
DJ had the first triple for the Rockies tonight on a ball that Cespedes took I don't want to say a strange route, but a questionable route to. He hit it really well. It was a line drive that was moving away from Cespedes toward the gap in right center field. Cespedes tried to lay out and make the catch, could not. Rockies couldn't cash that in as Walters struck out. That's interesting. That was a pull swing, which you don't see much from DJ.
Because it was 86 miles an hour. It was, I think he was trying to pull it, but he's looking fastball. Thinking Harvey's going to be angry and come with the heat.
Night D, our umpiring crew tonight. Rob Drake, veteran umpires behind home plate. Carlos Torres at first. Corey Blazer out of Pomona High School is at second, and at third is the crew chief Jerry Davis. There's Jerry. 1-1, nobody out. 2-2. Reynolds at first. That's the patented let it get deep swing from DJ LeMahieu. 1-2.
I catch the best fireworks show in town this summer on Friday, July 8th and Saturday, July 9th, following the game against the Philadelphia Phillies.
Way outside. The opposition this year hitting .295 against Matt Harvey, which is very unlike Matt Harvey through his first few years. This ball on the ground is short. DJ's going to have to hustle to avoid the double play. And it was just hit too hard. So a 6-4-3. And with 2 outs, that'll bring up Walters.
There's been a difference just this year and last year between Matt Harvey and his ERA, batting average against. Last year, and this is his first, 2015 was his first full year back after missing part of 2014 with Tommy John surgery. So you would have thought that maybe last year the numbers would have been higher, but this year ERA over 2 runs higher per ball game.
Well, also consider this, Huey. Of pitchers with at least 60+ starts that are active in baseball right now, ERA wise, Kershaw's #1. No shock there. 240. Matt Harvey is #2 on that list at 2.70. Show you the list here. Chris Sale 285, Bumgarner 302, Strasburg 307. But there's a number of pitchers, big name pitchers, that have ERAs that are, shall we say, they're unfamiliar with right now. You know, David Price, I know, threw a good ball game yesterday.
He had what, a 6 or something like that going into that game.
Yeah. There's a number of guys that have started slowly on the hill. Look at Chris Archer down in Tampa. He's got a 4+ ERA.
One here for the Mets too with Matt Harvey. He went from being the ace of the staff to maybe #3 or 4 on their staff. With DeGrom, Syndergaard, and I know Matz isn't going to throw tomorrow like he was originally scheduled, but he's up there.
Walters goes down swinging, but the Rockies get even with the Mets. Arenado got it started with a single. Parra, a triple. Mark Reynolds tied it up with a base hit. 2-2 going to the 5th.
Fifth on a Fan Friday. We're talking about the hot topics in Major League Baseball. One of them being Bartolo Colon's home run the other day. Check this out. SportsCenter tweeting out, Mets fan gets commemorative tattoo in honor of Bartolo Colon's first career home run. Because why not? Well, what they didn't know is that fan was Ryan Spilborghs.
Yeah, I got that right next to my no regrets tattoo across my shirt.
Is it spelled correctly, or is that the one that's misspelled?
R-A-G-E-R-E-T-S.
Yeah. Exactly. Would you ever get a tattoo? Losing a bet?
Bartolo Colon?
I
losing
think
a bet?
he had to have lost a bet. It says it's commemorative, but I guarantee you he lost a bet.
You had to have lost a bet. How about the guy a couple years ago did the World Series champion or for the NBA Finals with the Miami Heat?
Oh, yeah.
And they lost.
That happens every single year. So, you know, you now have Bartolo on your shoulder for the rest of your life, commemorating that home run.
It's Billy. Didn't you lose the bet in the card game on the plane with Sully, and now you have Sully's image on your left arm or something?
Yeah, it's my lower back.
It was lower back. That's right.
Lower back. Sully's on my back.
Yeah.
For real.
Forever.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Don't show us. That's all I'm gonna ask, please.
1 and 2 on Matt Harvey.
I think I just pay the cash payment on that one.
Whatever it was.
Whatever it was. The cash option.
Nolan with the luxury of Harvey running. 1 out. Top of the order, Curtis Granderson will come up. 2-2 ball game in the 5th. Find the latest Albuquerque Isotopes jerseys, t-shirts, novelties, and plenty more at abqisotopes.com. Albuquerque Isotopes, proud AAA affiliate of the Colorado Rockies. I'd like to point this out because it's only 6 hours down the road, but you know, a lot of folks go to baseball tournaments in the summer months, and it's coming up right around the corner in Albuquerque, or maybe they're just going down to Santa Fe and on a little vacation. Head into Albuquerque, beautiful stadium. You'll really enjoy the atmosphere, and go check out the Isotopes. See a lot of future Rockies in addition. Oh, and 1 on Granderson, a strikeout, and a ground ball to Mark Reynolds at first. And that ball's lined toward left center field. Granderson with a 1-out double.
Granderson stands right on the plate. Is from these years in New York playing for the Yankees, trying to think about pulling everything. This time he goes with the pitch, as we saw a moment ago on the Subaru Supermo. Takes it to left center field for his 7th double of the season.
Granderson at second, David Wright a strikeout, and a ground ball to third is at the plate. I asked David before the ball game when we were chatting with him, you know, how the back was. And he said it's really a day-to-day thing. Some days, you know, feels pretty good. Other days it's.
Well, the amount of work that he has to put in just to be able to go out and play. I mean, it's hours added on to his pregame routine.
But he's still a threat, and he also is always going to give you a high quality at bat. He has walked to support that notion in 11 straight games.
It's a career high for him.
2 runs, 4 hits for the Mets, 2 runs, 6 hits for the Rockies. Fastball's low, 2-1.
David Wright can still handle the fastball that's inner half from the middle of the plate in. 2 areas you can pitch him away. You can also pitch him sliders away.
Well, barring some sort of injury, David is going to pass 1,000 RBIs this year. Driving 1,000 in your career, you had one heck of a career. 2-1 on Wright. Four times in Wright's career he's driven in 100 or more in a season.
He sits first all time in Mets history with 964 RBIs.
Good pitch. 88-mile-an-hour slider.
I don't care who you are, that's a hard pitch to hit, but better spot on the Subaru strike zone, you can't get much better than where he threw that.
Dial that one up again, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Don't even mess around. Make a mistake inside.
And that's what he did. He actually missed location with that, but he froze him with a slider. And that is the second out. It is strikeout number 5 for John Gray.
But the first one of the night that was looking. Yeah, it didn't get to the spot he wanted to, but it locked David Wright up enough. Thinking he's got a bail, it's fastball. Nope. Strike 3, just walk back and take your medicine.
Sometimes you only think you're the beneficiary of your stuff is so good that when you throw a cement mixer, you get bailed out a little bit.
Yeah, but that tells you that the rotation on that slider is so tight, guys aren't picking it up. Because if it's not that tight, you'll recognize it sooner, and maybe you wouldn't bail it.
1-0 on Michael Conforto, who's 0 for 2. 5 for his last 40. At the plate with 16 strikeouts, but we watched this guy take BP.
Oh.
He's got a tremendous swing.
Drafted in 2014 and then playing in the big leagues last year.
In the air to Cargo in right center. He's got it. Well done, John Gray. Not hurt by the 1-out double by Granderson. 2 apiece as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning.
About the Mets pitcher Bartolo Colon and his first home run. Darren Rovell tweeting this out the other day. Top sells more than 8,000 cards of Bartolo Colon's home run in 24 hours. Shatters on-demand card record. That's pretty crazy. So here's the card. This is what it looks like. Topps tweeting this out this week. They said the Bartolo Colon home run card comes down in 30 minutes. Well, obviously 8,000 selling. You bought one, right?
A Gem Mint 10. Get it now. You got 3 minutes. I've bought those before, like infomercials late at night. Gem Mint 10. But here's what I want you to think about, Jenny. 97 was his first year in the big leagues. What were you doing in 97?
I was in high school, and now that feels like a long time ago. Thank you.
John Gray with a base hit up the middle. The only thing I've ever ordered late at night is the K-Tel, the 70s greatest hits.
On 8-track?
No, it's past that. It's like, that's career hit number 1, by the way, for
Get
John.
that baseball.
That'll be an easy one to retrieve.
That's right. And what's nice about this is you could say it's off of Matt Harvey.
Makes it a little nicer,
yes,
right?
It does.
Well, you know, you watch those infomercials, like, I love that song. I like that song. Yeah, I love that song.
Right.
Took me back to high school days. Next thing you know, I'm ordering it.
Just 3 easy payments.
Yep. That's a beautiful bunt by Blackmon. Right. It's not going to get him. Well done, Charlie Blackmon. Huey, I love that play because it's a win-win play with nobody out.
And you have a guy now out there that, with David Wright, we talked about his back, still a great fielder, but having to move and come in and make the throw. But I want to show this for Charlie, what he does. He takes his left foot right to the plate. Look at this, right at the end of the bat. That's where he'll catch the ball. And then it's bunt and then run. Too many times guys try to get out of the box so quickly that they forget to do the most important thing, and that's to lay down the bunt. David Wright came through on the Subaru Supermo, barehanded it on the mark with this throw, but Charlie just beat it out. I'd do it again. If I'm Trevor, maybe try to lay down a drag bunt. We've seen him do it, I don't know, it was maybe 4, 5, 6 games ago. He did that.
Sometimes take what the game gives you, right?
Yes, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Now you had the small ball by Charlie. Keep playing it.
Couple hits tonight for Charlie. By the way, he's got a 10-game hitting streak going. He's hitting every game since he's come off the shelf. This ball line to the left field corner. This will give the Rockies a lead. John Gray, come on home. Stopping at third is Blackmon on the RBI double from Story. Second double of the night. RBI number 28.
And we're talking about trying to lay down the bunt, maybe to get guys at second and third. He says, I'm not playing that game. I'll hit the double. The 8th go-ahead RBI for Trevor. The 4-seam fastball ran back inside. Trevor drives in his 28th run of the season.
It's another go-ahead RBI for Trevor Story. That's his 8th go-ahead RBI of the year. Only Freddie Galvis has more in the league. And Cargo fouls it back. Boy, Cargo's got runners at second and third. This is an ideal opportunity for him to end the RBI drought.
Yeah, that's been at 15 games, but no drought for that young man. Just each and every game, he'll do something that just solidifies his position and what he's doing in the big leagues.
Cargo reaching for, trying to just poke that to left field. He's in a ditch 0-2. A little anxious on that particular delivery. It's been 15 games, as Jeff mentioned, without an RBI, the longest stretch of his career. Previous long was in 08 when he went 14, but he was a kid with Oakland. 2 in scoring position, nobody out. Rockies up 3-2. Have action in their bullpen. Ansel Robles is up. Rockies with 9 hits, 4+ innings against Matt Harvey. Great speed on base. Trevor Story a moment ago, you know, this is how good a kid he is. He was concerned that the sticker that says Colorado Rockies was coming off, so he's helping out the grounds crew, and he says, oh, don't worry about it, I'll take care of that too. And this ball is popped up. Harvey's going to make the catch, and another frustrating at bat for Cargo. That's where this game can be so painful, even for a player as great as Carlos Gonzalez has been.
Time now for our Colorado Lottery pitch probability. With Nolan to the plate. This is what's going through Nolan's mind. What do you think Matt Harvey's going to throw to me with 1 out, runners at second and third, and I've hit a slider already. Last at bat for a single.
What will he go to here?
And this is just specific to Harvey and Nolan.
Nolan 3 for 8 against Harvey. 2-strike count. It's a big sequence now with Cargo not being able to drive in one of the 2 runs. At the very, very least, I mean, you'd like to play 2 out, excuse me, nobody out, 2 in scoring position. You want to get them both home, but at the very least, the Rockies have to add a 4th. Best RBI guy in the business the last year and a month and a half.
And a tough guy to strike out. So you're thinking, at worst case, you get the 1 run. We see Nolan, it doesn't matter, 0-2, 1-2.
Nolan has 17 more RBIs than anybody else in baseball since the start of last season. 17.
Last 2 pitch probabilities were correct. They both times on the 0-2 called for the fastball, and that's what they said he was going to throw it. Matt Harvey did.
That's in baseball. How about in the National League? He has 31 more RBIs than anybody in the National League since the start of last year. Blackman at third, Story at second. Held up. Rockies trailed 2-0. They tied it in the 4th, and they've gone ahead here in the 5th. Big Friday night crowd for Colorado and New York. Here's the 1-2. That's going to reach the seats out of play.
I just love these classic duels. You got a guy Matt Harvey out on the hill. You have Nolan at the plate. And the thinking games, the fastball. Is it going to be the slider? Each guy has their own game plan, who executes and who wins it.
Line drive that's caught by Walker. And now it'll take a 2-out hit with Gerardo Parra coming up. Here's our timeless moment brought to you by Coors Banquet. A much younger Gerardo Parra. First big league at bat, and he goes yard. At the time, he became the 100th player to hit a home run in his first career at bat. Dan Worthen's going to go out to the mound.
I'm sure this is a conversation. Hey, do you want to pitch this guy, or you want to go right on right with Reynolds coming up next?
Parra tripled his last time up, hit a rocket to left. He also lined out to deep left. In the case of Mark Reynolds, Reynolds struck out on 3 pitches, but then lined an RBI single last inning to center. Ansel Robles is getting loose, as we said. now for a few minutes. Inside. There's so many guys of the ilk of Matt Harvey. They don't want to pass on anybody.
No, they have the mentality that I'm better than you, so I want to pitch to you.
Parra, who doesn't take many pitches, took a strike there. That kind of surprised me a little bit.
And maybe he was thinking along the same lines that, well, maybe they're going to work around me, and then if it gets to 2-0, they would walk me. But I think you still have to stay aggressive if you're Gerardo.
Twisting into the seats, foul, 1-2.
Charlie has to be alive of a ball down in the dirt.
Slowly hit to short, and Cabrera just did get Parra at first. So Harvey gives up a run, 3 hits to begin the inning, but then he keeps the Rockies from adding on. 3-2 Colorado on the double by Story.
Rockies up 3-2, thanks in part to John Gray getting on base and scoring that go-ahead run right now. We're having fun out here on the plaza. Jenny Kavanaugh, Ryan Spellberg's back with you on a Fan Friday. I know you're having fun, and I know watching John Gray is a lot of fun because guess what? He's trending on Twitter.
I know, I love it. Gets his first big league hit, and he's matching Matt Harvey pitch by pitch. He's got a whip of 1 tonight, Jenny, at Coors Field.
That's not too bad. And
no,
on
not too bad.
Friday the 13th, he's looking for his very first one. Let's check out Twitter. At Sports A Mile High says first career base hit for John Gray. Now time for his first win. Love that with the strong arm signal. Then John Gray, hashtag pitchers who rake. And we're going to check the pitch here, and we'll get right back to the tweets.
Pitchers who throw first pitch strikes.
And Ryan saying this game could be the first of a great story for John Gray. He owes $1, as Spilly would say, but you're right. A very good story indeed.
He's doing great. We're going to enjoy our time here on the Castle Black because it's freezing cold.
It is cold. All right, guys, we'll send it back to you.
DJ comes all the way from the left side to the right side, Jenny, to make that catch on the pop-up by Cespedes. And there's one out.
The Fans of Rockies Wives annual charity grab bags event is May 27th and 28th here at Coors Field. Visit the Wives near section 131 to get yours while supplies last.
Lucas Duda at the plate. Fly ball to center field and the ground ball to second for Duda. And Duda goes the opposite way with a base hit. Earlier, when Jeff Bridich was with us, we mentioned FIP. It's one of the newer measures, analytics to measure a pitcher's success, and what it is fielding independent pitching. I really don't like how that's phrased, to be honest with you, because whatever, it doesn't matter. But let me tell you people what it is, for those that don't know. It eliminates anything that you have no control over. So it takes all the outs away that were, you know, ground balls to short, and it includes home runs. It includes, there it is on your graphic,
Things that
walks,
he can control.
hit batters, and strikeouts. And when you look at his FIP, that ERA, his FIP ERA, at Coors Field is in the 3s, which suggests that he's pitched with a little bit of bad luck at Coors Field. We know the ERA at home, still a relatively small sample size, has been really high.
A couple of those earlier this year, and then once last year against these Mets, where he only threw an inning and 2/3, gave up 7 earned runs. So I mean, there's so many ways you could look at a pitcher. But tonight, the one guy I'm looking at is John. He made the one mistake to Plawecki in the second inning, not getting the slider down and away. But he's handled this game in this stage against Matt Harvey and the Mets kind of like what he did back at Citi Field in August of last year, where he had 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 run in that game.
You're looking at his pitch count, 87 pitches in. Potentially due up next inning. We'll see where it goes. First things first, an 0-2 count to Neil Walker, who's reached twice. And he got a hard slider underneath the hands. That is strikeout number 6. Second out in the 6th.
The disappearing slider is what hitters will call this one, and that's what Neil Walker will call it on the Subaru Supermo.
You're going to get a swing on that back foot slider, Huey, from a left-handed bat 98% of the time. And you know what? 98% of the time, they're not going to touch it.
No, because when you go to swing at it, you're still processing it that it's a fastball until you get to that point in your swing, and then you say, well, here we go again. I'm not going to be able to hit it.
Cabrera at the plate. The only guy who had a little bit of success last night against Kershaw, had a couple hits. (3-2) Colorado, top of the 6th inning.
Kershaw had that big curveball going last night. What he just throws, and it goes from about 4 feet high down to a foot high, just dropping off the table.
It's a fair ball. It's going to be a tough chance. Nice play by Reynolds. Man, that was a really nice play by Mark Reynolds, who's played a beautiful first base this year. Another strong inning for John Gray. Rockies up a run, middle of 6.
Noah Syndergaard, how about this for the Mets? He had not one, but 2 home runs as the pitcher the other night against the Dodgers. He tweeted afterwards, "Tonight was a direct result of Bartolo inspiring me to be a better man. Hashtag his trot was better." His trot was better on his home run that he hit earlier in the week, but a pitcher to have 2 home runs in a game?
That's really, 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 really good. 100 club, Jenny.
Can you believe it?
You're not going to see too many guys that can be able to do that. I can do that, and Noah Syndergaard. That's about it.
Yeah, you cannot do that. You cannot pitch. You should stay away from pitching, okay?
Okay.
Maybe the exit velocity would be 100, but like on a really good day,
like
after like you
somebody
pump
hitting the
so
ball
much
off
iron.
of me at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly. So pretty cool week for the Mets, you guys, in terms of pitchers hitting home runs. They've really topped the storylines this week. So sorry, Huey. I know you really love a good pitcher that can hit. You got to see a lot of them.
You know what? For Syndergaard, that was impressive. I don't care who you are. And his swing, they broke it down, and it looks a lot like Adrian Gonzalez's swing. Come on. I'm telling you what. Go take a look at it, Billy. That might be the only time you hear me say that.
This is all
the
you need
only
to
time. We're going to have to save this reel. Hey, we've had a lot of fun on Fan Friday. We hope the fans continue the conversation. You can tweet us, hashtag Fan Friday, comment on all the great things happening around Major League Baseball this week. We are going inside to get ready for the post-game show, and we'll see you guys right after the game.
Two quick notes before we let you go. One, Spilly could throw a ball 100 miles an hour. If he holds it in his hand and he gets in his car and he drives down the highway at 100 miles an hour.
But you know what? My car has a governor. It won't let me go that high.
Well,
83 miles an hour, my car starts making signals. It goes, doot, doot. So I can't even get it up that fast.
All right, second comment, Drew.
Yeah, the second one is if you take a look at Noah Syndergaard, you ought to be able to hit the ball about 4 miles.
It's very true. He does have a nickname. Thor.
All right, guys, get warm. DJ's at the plate with a 2-0 count. Could Noah Syndergaard get Noah Syndergaard out? 6'6", 240 pounds, and he's one of those guys with like 5% body fat. Catches his own, 2-1. I was watching his game late the other night. Did you catch some of that? In the 7th inning, he was blowing 100 still.
Yes. I know. You think Toronto would like to have him back?
Probably. You know, it's why.
Just say there's one of those things. though, that when people talk, oh, just trade this guy for this guy. Well, you know what? Toronto traded R.A. Dickey. Or for R.A. Dickey, and they gave up Noah Syndergaard. And a few other players were involved in that too, but.
Well, it's why when Sandy Alderson was called by GMs the last year plus and offered, they were looking for a bat and offered, you know, high quality bats, but everybody wanted at least one of their big arms back, and he wouldn't give up any of them. And you understand why, because this game has been and always will be about pitching. And one of the things we also know about pitching is a lot of those guys get hurt, and you can never have enough.
Think about some of the guys for the Mets even. DeGrom, Tommy John, Zach Wheeler, Tommy John, Steven Matz. I mean, these guys are all getting hurt, but they've got
Matt Harvey,
and Tommy John, right. But they have this stable of young arms, and that's what Sandy Alderson's saying is I'm not giving those up and getting rid of some of these guys because somebody will get hurt.
Dan Worthington knows that this ball's in the air to right field. Granderson's not going to have a play. They're going to get Wheeler back at some point, probably in early July, off of Tommy John. The Rockies catch a break. Matz, who's been pitching exceedingly well, his elbow's a little tender, not a DL situation, but he's going to be skipped tomorrow. So Logan Barrett's going to make a spot start.
Well, they didn't want a repeat of what happened last year with Steven Matz, where he's tried to pitch through it. And he ended up missing 2 months.
3-2. Harvey last inning kept himself in the game and kept the Mets in contact with the Rockies. After Story's doubled, second and third, nobody out. Cargo, Nolan, Parra. I mean, the part of the order you want up. This is line to the gap in right center field. It's going to go to the wall. Another extra base hit for DJ. A double now to go with his triple. the Rockies have 10 hits against Matt Harvey at 5 1/3.
And just like DJ does, takes the ball the other way. The triple was to right center field, and so was this double. Fouls off 2 tough pitches. I'll get another one down in the Subaru strike zone. But it splits the plate, and he splits the gap.
Tony Walters has struck out twice against Harvey. Fires at a fastball up in the zone at 93, and it's 0-1. Jerry Blevins has gotten up also in the Mets bullpen.
Boone Logan was up for Colorado, and also Gonzalez Germain.
But for the moment, John Gray's in the on-deck circle.
Well, those are 91 pitches, so it's still go back out there.
2-1 on Walters. There's the duo, Germain and Logan. Good eye. Yep.
Toughest pitch to lay off of when you're ahead in the count. You see it up. A little bit of a struggle at the plate. You want to be that guy, but he laid off it, did Tony.
Ground ball, left side, base hit. DJ gets a green light. Here's the throw by Conforto. Not going to get him. Throw to second. Walters safe there on an awkward slide, and the Rockies have a 4-2 lead. How good that must feel for Tony Walters. Punched out twice against Harvey, and he gets him the 3rd time.
Tony, when he's at the plate, he just sees all this area off to the left side. Look at that over there. Able to shoot it through between short and third. Fordo comes up. A strong one-hop throw to the plate. The DJ coming in with the slide, comes and reaches it with his right foot on the Subaru Supermo. And then heads up base running by Tony Walters to see where that throw went, and then he slides into second base. It was an awkward slide. It was, I'm not even sure you consider that a slide, and he reached with his left hand.
I've seen that at the plate before. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I've never seen that. It's
out on the field.
Out of second base, because if you're going to do one of those slide bys, the hardest part is stopping your momentum and trying to grab it. How does he keep his index finger on the bag after the push of the glove?
2-0 on Gray, trying for his first RBI after getting his first big league hit last inning. 2-1. Blackman on deck, 1 out, a run in. 4 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Rockies. 2 runs, just 5 hits allowed by John Gray. And Gray is out number 2.
Bring your group to Coors Field and receive discounted pricing, scoreboard recognition, and other great benefits. Call today for more information and get your group on.
Terry Collins is going to go take the baseball from Matt Harvey. And we'll get a new arm to face Charlie Blackmon. Rockies 4 and the Mets 2 back in a moment. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. The Rockies down 2-0 in Lodo have taken a 4-2 lead. And with 2 outs, Tony Walters at second, and Charlie Blackmon will face the veteran left-handed reliever Jerry Blevins, 32-year-old. Originally drafted in the 17th round by the Cubs, then went to Oakland for a number of years. He was part of a Jason Kendall deal. A Dayton Flyer. Dougie said you got to get that in.
You have to.
Graduate of the University of Dayton. And Blevins originally a walk-on at Dayton. Charlie's got a couple hits tonight. Outside.
And a very durable guy up until last year. It's in 60 or more games from 2012 to 2014, then was hit with a line drive last year, fractured his forearm, and then refractured it again in August.
Walters runs well at second. And catches the corner. How about Charlie with 2 more hits tonight? The 3-hit game on Wednesday, including the home run. He's got the average just under 300. And he started 2 for 18, though he was putting out good at bats the opening week of the season. Didn't have much to show for it. Fouled off. Here is career hit number 500 on Wednesday. It also gave the Rockies the lead against Robbie Ray in Arizona.
If you're going to hit a home run, might as well make it magical. Those are the ones you remember. Your first one, then 500. Oh yeah, I hit a home run.
He's right behind DJ now. Hits list for the Rockies, one of 17 Rockies to produce at least 500 hits. I think we all know who's number 1. Charlie was particularly pumped up for this series. I mean, he's always ready to go, but he loves the challenge of facing some of the best arms in the game. This is driven high and deep right field, and it is off the wall. Walters walks home. Blackmon a double. Make it 5-2 Colorado. Boy, is Charlie Blackmon ever locked in.
Third hit of the night, and that'll also close the book on 5 earned runs for Matt Harvey. 6th double of the season. Just went down and got that baseball. Just didn't stay quite elevated enough. Hit it about halfway up in the auxiliary scoreboard right.
Picture tells 1,000 words, right?
Yes, it does.
Words 1,000 words. Matt Harvey, as Huey said, 5 runs and 5 2/3 on 11 hits. He didn't walk anybody. Doesn't walk many to begin with, and he struck out 5. Pass naturally on Story, go left on left with Cargo. And that may ultimately, Huey, turn out to be a good thing for Cargo. You were a left-handed hitter,
right.
And when you were slumping, did it feel sometimes, and it was one thing, depending on what level of left-hander you're talking about.
Right, at 98
Kershaw,
miles,
right.
Yeah, that's
or
not
Randy Johnson.
That'll put you further into a slump.
Right.
And taking nothing away from Cherry, but he doesn't throw as hard as those guys.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the pedigree of those guys. So for Cargo, it might help him in that fact, and also consciously say, I need to keep my right shoulder in. I need to make sure I get my foot down in time. All the little things mechanically, which you could do when a guy doesn't throw quite as hard.
So Cargo tonight 0 for 3. With 2 men on and 2 outs, and the Rockies ahead 5-2. Held up. Carlos 4 for his last 26. Fouls that off. These two were teammates in Oakland. A long time ago, it was 2008, but when Cargo came up, Levens was with the A's.
Before the game, during batting practice, those two chatted for a moment. Now they're facing each other.
Two. For Cargo, most plate appearances without a home run in his career. Currently, he's got 98. Listen, just like last year, you know when he gets hot, look out.
He's still hitting 297.
Yep.
Because it's so many balls to left center.
Levens strikes out Cargo to end the inning. The Rockies scored 2 more. They scored 3 straight innings. They have a 5-2 lead for John Gray as we go to the 7th. Here's our Kubota pitching performance. We focus in on John Gray, the Oklahoma Sooner. He's been outstanding against the Mets tonight in 6 innings, couple runs on 5 hits, 1 walk, and he has struck out 6. And he has his club out front 5-2. Kevin Plawecki's going to lead it off 8, 9, and 1 in the 7th for the Mets. And look at the number of first pitch strikes tonight, Jeff.
And that's been the difference tonight for John, is that 18 out of 25 times he's working ahead. Some ground balls, so there's movement. It's not just straight. Getting the ground ball outs, 3 flyouts, and only 5 hits given up compared to the 12 that Matt Harvey gave up tonight, which is the 2nd most he's ever given up. 13's his career high.
Inside 1-1. Plawecki's the only guy that's really hurt John Gray. It was in the 2nd inning. He got 2 quick outs. He walked Neil Walker on 4 pitches. And then on a slider in the dirt, it nicked the foot of Cabrera. So 2 on, 2 outs, and then Plawecki at a line drive to left center. Good breaking ball to drive in both runs. Carlos Estevez and Boone Logan now up in the Rockies pen in the 7th. 1-2 on the Mets catcher Plawecki, and he hits it late and foul. Interesting story from another city. Remember Matt Bush when the Padres took him #1, and
right,
you know, he was a position player, shortstop with a big arm, never hit. Then he had off the field issues. Was out of the game for an extended period.
He spent time in jail, prison.
He did, and then he has shown up as a pitcher, and he has for a while, trying to revitalize his career, just throwing the baseball. Well, he reached the big leagues with Texas. The first batter he faced today was Josh Donaldson, and he struck him out. Ground ball to third, retreating as Nolan will get behind it, throw out. The Mets captured by a stride and a half, 1 out. Now the Mets will go to their bench.
Before we get to the pinch hitter, Nolan had to back up 2 steps, but then, like a good fastball pitcher, he comes right over the top. That's 10 ground ball outs. Yeah, John, you should like that.
Steve Foster to the mound, just to again go over the report on Alejandro Diaz, veteran hitter. He's going to pinch hit for Blevins. 96 pitches in. Tell you what also picked up the strike, the number of strikes to ball, because the ratio at one point was 20-17.
That was 96 pitches, just 31 balls. The last outing, 7 innings, he threw 89 pitches. So he understands the value of, you know, not wasting a lot of pitches. He had that one rough 2nd inning where he threw some extra pitches. But I mean, just looking at him right now, he just still looks like he's in early in the game mode. Don't see a whole lot of sweat coming off, and now the 98th pitch, that's a career high for him.
And his 97th pitch was at 96, so there's still plenty of velocity there. Two 2-0 on Diaz.
Right here, you have a 3-run lead with Diaz. Fastball, set him right down the middle of the plate.
Well received by Tony Walters. That's one of those borderline pitches. You can see by the reaction of Diaz. And that was a pitch stolen by Walters, looking on the Subaru strike zone. He's geared up for the fastball, and he got slider. It's 2-2. Curtis Granderson on deck.
Even that 2-0 that you stole, it's because he's been around the plate. Umpires just get in that mode. They start to see more pitches, and they'll start to call more.
Oh, dirty slider. 2 outs, strikeout number 7 tonight for John Gray.
And coming back, being down 2-0. Back-to-back slider. That might have been the curveball. Yeah, that had more curveball rotation on that spin on the Subaru Supermo.
2 outs, nobody on. Gray will face Granderson. Granderson doubled against him last time up. A strikeout and a ground ball to first as well. Ball, 1 strike.
This is where when you're playing behind John Gray, you're saying, come on, finish strong.
One and two.
Slider. Down at the knees. Pitch number 104.
Yeah, supple hands from Walters. He got it. Great job, John Gray. 1-2-3 with a couple of punch outs in the seventh. Stretch time at Coors Field. 5-2 Colorado. Wonderful outing again for John Gray. Take a look at our first bank game recap. The Rockies were trailing early 2-0. They lead 5-2. They pounded out 11 hits against Matt Harvey. They have 12 now in the ball game. This is the first of a 3-game set, and the Rockies trying to end an 11-game losing streak against New York. Charlie Blackmon hugging up John Gray, Trevor Story, Ryan Rayburn. I'll tell you what. We've seen John on the road trip, just 2 outstanding ball games on the West Coast. But John needed a performance like this at Coors Field in the worst way.
And he finished strong too.
This ball's hit to deep left. Hold on, stay fair. Twisting foul.
Just to finish that thought on John Gray. What he did last inning, that was the exclamation point on a start here at Coors Field.
And listen to the final line. 7 innings, 2 runs, that double early, 5 hits, a walk, so less than a hitter reached an inning from a whip standpoint, 8 strikeouts.
And I like the other fact that he went out there for the 7th inning. It was okay, he hit, now finish that 7th inning off. 105 pitches, 71 for strikes. I mean, that's also another stepping stone, another one, another check mark in that category for a starting pitcher.
Yeah, that's what front of the rotation guys do. This ball is a towering fly ball, and in foul ground. This is not an easy play. Nearly a collision. Conforto makes the catch, and Arenado is retired. Hansel Robles is now in the ball game on the mound for New York, and with one gone, Gerardo Parra is coming up. The Mets not only have a very strong rotation that everybody's aware of, they have a very good bullpen also.
Yeah, this is a guy that throws hard, 95 to 98 miles an hour with this fastball, hard slider at 87. But their bullpen has a combined .258 ERA, which is third best in the major leagues.
Parra takes outside, ball one. Triple for Gerardo in the fourth to drive in a run. 1 for 3. Swing by Parra.
Live Rockies baseball is back in 2016 with MLB.com or bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected with stats, news, and much, much more.
Two and two. Well, if the Rockies can hang on here, it will be the 1,000th career win at Coors Field. Actually, it'll be the 1,000th career win at home, including the 2 years at Mile High Stadium.
That's nice, but number one's also nice too. The first career win for John Gray.
Yep.
A lot of ones and zeros.
Carlos Estevez is going to handle the 8th inning.
John also lowered his ERA. He went into the ball game at 540, lowered it to 471.
Neil Walker. The day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Use the promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. Mark Reynolds, an RBI single in the 4th inning. 1 for 3. David Wright, and a good inning for Robles. So we'll go to the 8th. The Rockies 5 and the Mets 2 at Coors Field. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. And by Reserve Casino Hotel. I-70 West, exit 243 in Central City. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston on a Friday night in lower downtown Denver. And the Rockies leading the Mets 5-2. We're happy to report. In the top of the 8th inning, Carlos Estevez will take over after a fabulous performance by that man, John Gray. And 2 runs, 5 hits. He struck out 8, walked just 1. Visiting with Scotty Murayama, the Rockies rehab coordinator. You get hurt, you spend a lot of time with Scotty.
Scotty's a nice guy, but it's not somebody you want to be spending a lot of time with. I like talking to him. But John, what a performance tonight for him. I mean, he put the final touching on that 7-inning ball game, just close it out Grant style with the strikeout. Now here's some more gas coming in with Estevez.
First pitch, 98. David Wright 0 for 3 against Gray with a couple of punch outs. Estevez, league hitting just 206 against him. And another strike at 98.
98.
He came by and was going over to say hello to an old friend from the Mets today. Passing us, said hello, and every time you see him, you go, man, that kid's big.
Just continues to grow into his body. He's got the frame to show you that he could throw 98 on a consistent basis. Rising star of the Arizona Fall League last year. 99.
Scouts like broad-shouldered pitchers. I think there's a lot of velocity there. And at 98 just missed. 2-2. Walt trusts Estevez, 3-2. And it's not just the stuff. It has to do with the makeup, and it has to do with body language. You were a coach in the instructor in the Cubs organization. One of the things you're reading, not just physical talent, you're reading makeup, how somebody carries themselves.
Exactly, and he carries himself like a big leaguer.
Foul tip, Walters holds on, and he strikes out David Wright.
And the other thing, guys that pitch in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning they have to have a put-away pitch. And he does. He has a put-away fastball. He has a hard put-away slider. And he showed it, that fastball, to David Wright.
Michael Conforto, 0 for 3, strikeout, ground out, fly out. The first 4 in the Mets order are combined 1 for 14 this evening.
With 7 strikeouts.
And this is a very good offensive team. They started slowly this year, but they came into the ball game with 51 home runs, which is a club record in the first 34 ball games for the Mets. Tied for first in baseball with the Cardinals. Terry Collins at 66. The senior skipper in terms of age in Major League Baseball. Guy you played for.
1999, the Anaheim Angels.
And he still talks to you, which I found fascinating.
Because you got fired that year. Because we weren't that good. Or we weren't as good as we should have been, I should say. But that's when Joe Madden took over for Terry, and then they kind of got his manager clock rolling.
In the air, right center field. Cargo's going to not be able to cut it off. And now Conforto is going to end up at third. It'll be a triple.
First triple of his career for Conforto. into the bat, but plate coverage by Conforto allowed him to cover that pitch. And once he sees it get by Cargo, he's trucking into third.
That'll bring up Yoenis Cespedes. He's 0 for 3. They've been tied with Nolan for the RBI lead in the National League with 31. Lucas Duda on deck, and then the switch hitting second baseman Neil Walker, and for that reason Boone Logan is up again. Cespedes is a stocky guy, strong guy. You see that clearly. 5'10", about 220 pounds. Popped up, playable for Reynolds.
Recover home.
Always a good idea.
Well, I just saw Tony running down there, but it was smart from Carlos to move then from the mound or maybe backing up to take over the plate.
Still thinking like a shortstop partner.
I know, sorry. It's just every once in a while it comes out of there. Hey, fans, every Sunday home game this season is Bike to the Game, including Sunday, May 15th. Get more info at Rockies.com/green.
But here's a moment, a manager sending a message to a young pitcher.
I have the confidence in you. You just got Cespedes to pop out.
He wants him to finish it.
Yeah, and worst case, if he does hit a home run, you're still up by 1. I mean, but for Carlos, this is a growth moment. It's a moment that the manager's saying, you're my guy. Come on. This is why you're pitching in the 8th inning.
He overthrew those last two. 2-0 on Duda. Catches a corner, 2-1. Goes breaking ball on a 2-1 delivery, and it's 2-2. Locked up Duda.
That's a separator between AAA and the big leagues. In AAA, you wouldn't have a guy throw a 2-1 slider a lot of the time. He got a good fastball, but he knows that he has to mix it up.
This is one of those pitches here where catchers like to get a shake from the pitcher.
Right. It's put some doubt in the hitter's mind.
Two-two. Just missed at 98. It's 3-2. What do you like here?
I like a high fastball. I think that's good. Duda, he does anything, make sure you pitch him away. But he also showed the confidence in the slider.
He got him, locked him up with a slider. Pounds his fist into his glove. Well done. Estevez, Carlos Estevez. He gave up the 1-out triple. Walt Weiss showed confidence in him, and he put down the inning. Middle of 8, Rockies up 5-2. Colorado. Carlos Estevez talking to Christian Adames. Our CenturyLink link to what's next, the pitching matchup on Saturday night, lower downtown Denver. Logan Verrett making a spot start against Steven Matz, was scratched with a little bit of tenderness in his elbow. Eddie Butler is coming off a really good road trip. We'll have the baseball for the Rockies. Robles continues on, and he has the first pitch in there, strike one on LeMahieu. DJ a triple and a double tonight, 2 for 3. Five runs, a dozen hits for the Rockies tonight. Rockies came into the ball game with one of the top ERAs on the road in the National League, top 5, but at home an unsightly 7.24. So far tonight, in 8 innings, they've allowed just 2 runs.
Those 2 runs came with 2 outs.
Ground ball up the middle, but positioned there was Asdrubal Cabrera, 1 out. Tony Walters will be next. Who Wants Tacos fans, follow @GrewSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special, and the Rockies score 7 or more runs.
Behind Tony Walters is Daniel Descalso.
The first AB for Descalso this year. Just got activated today. Broke bone in his hand in spring training. Fly ball shallow center field. Cespedes will make the catch. 2 gone. And to activate Descalso to the 25-man roster, the Rockies sent out Ben Paulson, who swung it well, 10 RBIs in 29 ball games. So Ben down to Albuquerque.
Well, knowing Ben, he'll go down there, do his thing, and when he's needed again, he'll be ready. Just got caught up in a numbers game.
It's part of the business of baseball. Sometimes it has to do with, even though Descalso is really more of a super utility guy like Christian Adames, and you may go, well, why wouldn't they send out the young kid? Christian Adames didn't have any options left. Ben Paulson did. What that means is the Rockies could not send him down without exposing him to every other team in baseball on waivers, and they undoubtedly would have lost him. They don't want to lose him. So that's why that move was made. We'll go to the 9th inning. Jake McGee will try to close it out. The Rockies 5, the Mets 2.
With a 5-2 lead over the Mets. Could be a good way, a great way to start the weekend. Jenny Kavner back with Corey Sullivan. We're getting ready for the Toyota postgame show. Spilly will be downstairs to do interviews in the clubhouse. Hopefully this ends up with the making of Jon Gray's first career win. He has 13 winless starts. Perhaps Friday the 13th, he could do it.
He could do it. He set the tone early in the first inning with the 3 punch-outs. More importantly, he got his first big league hit.
First big league hit in the books. Gotta love that. He has a 1.80 ERA this month, by the way. Pretty ridiculous. So hopefully things can finish out well for Jon Gray as well. Let's send it back to the guys in the booth, and we'll see you right after the game.
All right, Jenny, Sully, thanks much. Again, the Rockies looking for 3 more outs. Jake McGee completing his warm-up pitches. McGee looking for his 10th save. He's 9 out of 11. And again, get Jon Gray off the hook, get him that first big league victory. For the Mets, it'll be the switch hitting second baseman Neil Walker, Asdrubal Cabrera after that, and then the catcher Kevin Plawecki.
For Jake McGee, since that 7 games, since that Dodgers disaster back on April 24th, he's pitched 7 innings, 7 hits, but only 1 run for 1.29 ERA and 5 out of 6 save opportunities. The one number, though, that is a little bit lower than what we thought we would see at this point is the strikeouts. Only 6 strikeouts in 12 2/3 innings.
That's why I don't believe he's even close to hitting his stride yet. You know, learning a new league and getting comfortable in a new environment. Last year, again, he was coming off an injury, so he only threw 37 1/3 last year, but he struck out 48, walked only 8. The year before, 71 1/3, he struck out 90. The year before, 62 2/3, struck out 75. So the strikeout total in his career has always been plenty more, you know, way above 1 per inning pitch, and it hasn't been that way so far. But the year is young. 0-1 on Neil Walker. Pittsburgh native takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. A walk, a single, and a strikeout tonight for Walker.
First time in either one of their careers that they've matched up against each other.
He had a 1-2-3 save on Wednesday, and he had to deal with Paul Goldschmidt with 2 outs, which is always a scary proposition. And he got Goldschmidt to reach for a pitch and hit a fly ball to left field. That ended the ball game. 2-2. Game number 9 on an 11-game trip for the Mets. I don't even have to look. That's got to be their longest of the year. They're 4-4 so far. Two-two, swung on and missed. Said you wanted more strikeouts. There's one.
Asking you shall receive, and that's what he did. Blew this by Neil Walker. Tied him up. Walker has a higher batting average hitting right-handed than he does left-handed by about 110 points or so.
Another switch hitter, Cabrera, at the plate. Hit by a pitch and scored in the 2nd. Single in the 4th. And a little ground ball to first. This ball's hit foul. Long way.
These guys were teammates last year in Tampa. Now they're facing off against each other.
That's right. The only season in Tampa for Asdrubal Cabrera. Become far more part of his repertoire, that curveball.
For
Jake McGee.
Yeah, he said he was going to throw it more in spring training, and some guys will say that, you know, they'll work on it, but then once the games start, they don't implement it.
And part of it was a visionary thing for McGee in that he said, I'm not always going to be able to throw 96, 97.
Looking further down the road.
Yeah. Oh, 2. Fastball 94. One thing we've noticed, at least early on, and it could change. I mean, the weather, we always know the weather, Colorado, you know, you can get 80-degree days in April and then 30-degree days. He believes, you know, there'll be far more 95s, 96s later on in the season. They've been more occasional than the norm. I mean, he's worked more 92, 93, and then he'll run one up in the mid-90s. 2 strikes with 1 out, nobody on. Rockies up by 3.
Sometimes too for Jake, it takes him 8 to 12 pitches to get up to that 94, 95.
Another 0-2, and he got him reaching on a breaking ball, and Blackman in center field will have out number 2. 2 gone in the ninth. Well, he's 1 out away from a very special moment. Crowd of more than 38,000. Most on their feet, except for the occasional Mets fan who remains in a sedentary position. 0-1.
John's thinking just another pitch or 2. I've had 13 starts, still looking for my first win, and I can smell it right now.
On the catcher, Plawecki. Two on Plawecki. He's got a ball game over. John Gray with his first major league victory. And the Rockies snap an 11-game losing streak against the New York Mets. They win it 5-2 and come from behind fashion, down 2-0 early. Gray gets the victory. He got his first big league hit. Matt Harvey takes the loss. He falls to 3-5. Jake McGee with his 10th save. And the Rockies make it 7 straight victories, oh, by the way, on Friday the 13th, for those that are superstitious. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, the work of the big right-hander from Oklahoma. 7 innings, allowed 2 runs on 5 hits, just 1 walk, and he struck out 8. That's the 3rd straight outstanding performance for the former Sooner. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. What a great night for Gray. The Rockies improved to 2-2 on the homestand. Beautiful Friday night for Colorado. And quick, by the way, the most winless starts to start a career since 1913. Liam Hendricks with the Twins in 2011 and 12, 17 straight. And then John Gray had gone 13 straight before producing his first W. And good news all the way around. So plenty to do on the Toyota postgame show. We get you there now. Here's Jenny.
All right, Drew, thanks so much. Great time to wait for high fives like that on your first one, plus the offense tonight.
Yeah, but either way, John Gray